Good afternoon, everybody. Francois from the Right Club. I'm here with Mark Baltazar from Peak Multifamily, and we're here to talk about tomorrow's event. So just make sure to register. I put in the details in the description. It is a paid event, but it's really worth it. I attended the first 2 sessions, and now this is the third installment of our multifamily series. And Mark, can you give us a little bit of background about what you're going to be talking about tomorrow?
Yeah, so I mean, our topic, our discussion is really going to be focused on managing, repositioning, and repurposing multifamily. Our focus, our business is around apartment buildings, so repositioning apartment buildings, and so we'll touch upon repositioning and repurposing mainly. And so you might ask yourself, like, what are the difference, right? It sounds like the same thing. It is slightly different. Repositioning, essentially, I mean, all businesses go through a repositioning, right? So repositioning is not a new concept. It's definitely not a concept that's just for real estate, but big brands go through it all the time. And repositioning is really about changing your value proposition, changing what you offer to your customers so that you can attract perhaps more profitable customers. And so what we're going to be talking about is how do we reposition a building that's currently attracting rents that are perhaps a little bit lower, and how do you reposition it, change its proposition, shine it up perhaps so that you're now positioned to attract higher rents. So that's all that's all kind of the process of repositioning, right? So we're going to talk about the steps that we go through, some very specific examples, how much these things cost, and at the end of the day, what does repositioning actually mean from an ROI standpoint? Is it worth it? Like, what should people be thinking about when they're about to execute a repositioning strategy in a value add building, for example? What things matter, what things don't? What are the mistakes? Hey, what are the mistakes we've made? Because we make mistakes, and we're going to talk about those so that you don't have to make those mistakes. And and share some examples that we have going on right now.
Excellent, especially in Ontario. I'm sure it's quite a story. It's not like you can just evict people very easily, but in other provinces, I don't know if you work all across Canada or
just Ontario. Yeah, so we're focused in Ontario.
Okay, so one of the toughest ones, except for Quebec. So that's going to be nice. So if you can do it in Ontario, you can do it pretty much anywhere else. So great value, great content. You were also talking to me about repurposing just before we came online. And that was really interesting. I don't want to give away the whole punch, but you had some good ideas. And I don't know if you can give just a little peek into that.
Yeah, for sure. So again, okay, so repurposing is really the concept of, again, they're similar concepts in that, when you're repositioning, you might have to repurpose, right? It's a lot of R words, right? But yeah. So repurposing essentially is taking an asset. Again, businesses have been doing this forever, but let's talk about it for real estate. Is taking an asset, evaluating its current use, and optimizing that use. And typically, a repurposing means changing the way, in our case, space is being used to again achieve higher financial performance. So the examples we're going to be talking about are how we take space in our apartment buildings and generate more revenue from the space. So, for example, taking garage car parks, garages, and making them much more valuable than just $50 a month parking spots. How do we take locker room or storage rooms that could generate maybe a few $100s a month to almost a couple $1,000s a month, or how do we change a large boiler room that's not really generating any revenue to make it a revenue generating piece of the building? So it's about changing the use, repurposing use. We like we often talk about the concept of or the acronym HABU, HABU. Highest and best use. What is the highest and best use of that physical piece of the building or property?
Okay, cool. That's exciting with the acronym too. I hope Daniel Saint-Jean joins in. He uses a lot of acronyms, so this will be perfect. But yeah, I invite everybody to join. tomorrow. So from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time, we have people from coast to coast. So, and Mark, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your busy day and to tell us more about tomorrow's event. And I hope everybody will join in. And replays will be available for those that sign up and register. So if you can't attend live, then you can also listen to it. But there's a Q&A at the end. So personally, I'd want to be live because then you can ask specific questions or get your questions answered. So thank you.
Great. Yeah, no, excited. I mean, the Q&A is usually, where you get a lot of rich information, right? I mean, yeah, we'll address as many as we can and stay as long as we get questions. So yeah, really excited to, it's gonna be myself and my partner, Mike. We're going to go showing examples of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So really excited to share that. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Sounds good. See you tomorrow.
Bye.